Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Here are today's headlines. Japan turns to Trinidad and Tobago for a massive long-term energy deal, while Benjamin Netanyahu flatly rejects a U.S. peace plan, demanding nothing less than Hamas' total disarmament. Of course, I fully agree. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be discussing both of these topics in detail in today's news report. Japan is actively exploring opportunities to source crude oil and natural gas from Trinidad and Tobago as part of a broader push to strengthen its long-term energy security. Good news. This is really some good news. Putting the politics aside, because I have a lot of issues with the Kamala Persad administration. That doesn't mean I support the PDM. And I used to support the UNC most of my life. It's just that I have problems with a lot of the policies, the weaning and the taxing and the SOE and so forth. But this is good news. And if this ends up coming into reality, this will be great for our country. During recent high-level diplomatic discussions, Japanese officials met with local leaders in Port of Spain to explore expanding bilateral energy trade and securing dependable shipments of fuel. You can imagine the amount of foreign revenue we will generate from this. It is really something to look forward to. The initiative reflects Tokyo's strategy to diversify its energy supply chains and reduce its heavy reliance on Middle Eastern imports amid rising global geopolitical risks and maritime vulnerabilities. They're realizing that most likely this whole issue with Iran ain't going to end anytime now because Trump refuses to finish the job. You cannot make deals with terrorists. But back to the topic. Under the proposed framework, Japan aims to leverage Trinidad and Tobago's established energy infrastructure to import crude oil and liquefied natural gas. As a major producer and exporter of hydrocarbons in the Western Hemisphere, the Caribbean nation provides an appealing option for Asian buyers seeking reliable trade partners. In turn, Japanese representatives expressed interest in providing technical support in areas such as disaster risk reduction, environmental management, and water infrastructure development. We really need that. The people need water. Anyhow. Although long ocean transit routes present logistical considerations, both governments remain optimistic about deepening economic cooperation. I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping that this will be successful. Bilateral discussions are ongoing to establish supply parameters, trade agreements, and potential investment opportunities within the energy sector. If finalized, the partnership would broaden Trinidad and Tobago's commercial presence in Asian energy markets while providing Japan with an essential energy buffer against market disruptions. Come on, Kamala. You're already messing up in a lot of different ways. This is a way to try to kind of redeem yourself to an extent. Not to mention you need to open Petro-Trin. Yes, we will generate a lot of much-needed forex, much-needed foreign revenue through this deal, right? If it ends up successful. But we need to also reopen our refinery.
Weather report for Monday, August 10, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago. The weather in Trinidad and Tobago on Monday, August 10, 2026 will be fair to partly cloudy and slightly hazy with a maximum temperature of 31 degrees Celsius and a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. According to the official Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service updates, a passing tropical wave will bring isolated showers primarily during the morning hours, after which conditions will settle. Due to high humidity levels of 70% to 90%, the daytime heat index will make it feel like 33 degrees Celsius. Winds will blow from the east to southeast at 5 to 30 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions are forecast to be slight to moderate with open water waves ranging between 1.0 meters to 1.5 meters, though spring tides will be in effect.
International news now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu formally rejected a U.S.-backed 15-point Gaza peace proposal on Sunday, declaring that Israeli forces will not withdraw from the enclave until Hamas undergoes complete and genuine disarmament. I'm telling you, I said it recently and I will say it again. Trump is blinded by the spirit of the Antichrist. It just makes no sense what this man is doing. He continues to negotiate with terrorists in Iran, and now he wants to just trust and believe in Hamas to disarm themselves with these international bodies supervising them. No, no, no. I keep telling people over and over again, these radical jihadists, they don't even think or behave like individuals that belong to that same faith, the Islamic faith here in the Caribbean, you know. They have, a lot of them have basically adapted or adjusted or integrated into our society, right? Our multicultural society. So they are a bit different. They think differently. They love and respect each other. Now, when you're holding discussions with them pertaining to the Middle East, is a whole different thing, eh? They still stand with their brothers and sisters and all kind of nonsense. Most of them. I'm not saying all, but most of them still stand. But when it pertains to living amongst everyone in peace and harmony here in Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean, and they're not trying to enforce any Sharia law upon anyone, that is how they are different. But these radical jihadists in the Middle East, in these countries, these Arab countries, like, Iran is not Arab, it's Persian, but nevertheless, right? These people, these radicals, like the IRGC, the Ayatollah, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, their ideology, their faith is based upon a very important prophecy to them. And that is that they need to destroy the infidels in the world. And according to them, the infidels are little Satan Israel and big Satan America. So no matter what deals you make with them, you're not going to change their minds and their hearts when it pertains to that Trump. Now, of course, if Benjamin Netanyahu made the foolish mistake of approving this, he would have definitely lost the elections that will be very soon in Israel. Because you cannot take the chance of allowing October 7th to happen again, to be repeated. You cannot take that chance. Speaking before a cabinet meeting, Netanyahu pushed back against the diplomatic framework proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump's Board of Peace, which outlined a phased Israeli military pullout alongside a transfer of Hamas weaponry to an interim Palestinian governing body. Over 90% of Palestinians, whether in Judea and Samaria or in Gaza, they support Hamas. You cannot trust them to even govern themselves, because at the end of the day, they are Hamas to an extent. They may not be actively involved in the terrorist organizations type of activities, right? But they are supporters of them, and therefore they cannot be trusted to govern themselves. Dismissing such arrangements as fictitious disarmament, because it wouldn't have actually happened, the Prime Minister demanded that full surrender of all light and heavy arms before any troop movements begin, signaling significant friction between Tel Aviv and Washington despite ongoing diplomatic talks. Thank God that Benjamin Netanyahu continues to stand firmly with his country and with his people, with his Jewish people. Very, very similar to Jehu of the Bible. Not the same, but very similar. My response, unlike the boss Trump, Netanyahu knows that you cannot trust terrorists even when they agree to disarm. The IDF must remain in Gaza until Hamas either completely surrenders or is utterly destroyed. The terrorist group, I'm not talking about the population, people. I'm not calling for any genocide. I'm saying the Hamas terrorist group needs to be utterly dismantled, utterly destroyed. And in my opinion, those Gazans should never be given the opportunity to govern themselves, because they will just revive Hamas again. Trump refuses to acknowledge the fact that you cannot negotiate with terrorists who believe that it's their spiritual calling to erase all Israelis off the face of the earth, including those who are supposedly hiding behind rocks and trees. Go and read your own scriptures in your book. You know who I'm talking to. And you will see. Google it and you will see as well.
Psalm 33, 13-17. God's sovereign watch and human limitations. From heaven the Lord looks down and sees all mankind. From his throne he observes all who live on the earth. He made their hearts, so he understands everything they do. The best equipped army cannot save a king, nor is great strength enough to save a warrior. Don't count on your warhorse to give you victory, for all its strength, it cannot save you.
God spoke, and creation stood firm. He foils human plans, but his purpose lasts forever. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord.
The Lord watches all mankind from heaven and understands their hearts. Earthly armies and strength cannot save you, but God remains your true deliverance.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.